It's Mike and Sean with Talking Tickets. We got Jim Capobianco. He's got the ticket passes. He's got eBay sales like crazy. Boston Sports Collect. And we're going to talk with him tonight. All right, Jim, I've heard your name. I've seen your eBay listings. People told me to talk to you if we ever wanted to dive into passes, especially baseball passes, and you'd be the guy. So thanks for coming on.
Thank you.
So, hey, just tell me about your history. We were talking about your eBay collection, 20,000-ish sales, tons of listings, tons of passes. Just kind of tell us what you collect, how you got started, all that good stuff.
Okay, I'll get how I got started because I think that's what people don't realize. I'm enough about the hobby. I'm 71, so when I was 10, I started in the hobby. That's 1962. So that's 60 years I've been doing this off and on, So the first game I went to, I was 10. I went to with my father at Fenway Park. We used to go on weekends because he used to work hard during the week, and we went every weekend to see Tony Congigliaro. He used to play right field. He came from my hometown. So my father would sit down in the right field seats way up front, and I would wander around the park, and I got talking to a kid 20 rows back, and he showed me a program he had, and it had autographs of all the players. I was like, what the hell is that? He goes, well, I get them before the game. Oh, so like everything in this hobby, you copy from someone. So I copied. And I said to my father, let's go before the game. So we would go to the game at 9:30 in the morning, get autographs. Then 11 o'clock, they open the gate. We'd watch batting practice. Then the game would start about 1. And then the game would get over, then go for autographs after the game. And then by the time we got home, we spent all day at the ballpark. And it was beautiful because the thing about it cost 75 cents to get in. There was less than 2,000 fans almost every game. I actually went to one game. It had paid attendance 504. Wow. I'd like to get that ticket.
Yeah.
It was, I think it's 64 versus Cleveland. I don't think I'll ever get it. But along with getting autographs and saving tickets, we just love baseball. My father loved baseball. My brother was 6. He loved baseball. I had a brother that was older. He loved baseball. Matter of fact, my father used to take him to Braves Field. They used to get Jackie Robinson's autograph and everything like that. They still have it. And my father used to sell newspapers at Braves Field when he was a boy. He met Babe Ruth. And the Babe Ruth story is Babe Ruth was signing autographs, and it was about 200 people just signing. And finally, after about an hour, Babe Ruth said to the driver, "Get the hell out of here," in a loud voice. "I don't care if you run these bastards over. Just step on it." Just have to let everybody know, get out of the way. He was done. Yeah. So that's how much, my father was involved in baseball. And I guess to get to the tickets, save everything that was free because we didn't have any money. Tickets were free. What I would do, each game I'd get a program for 25 cents, a yearbook for $1, and a sport and news for $0.25. But after a while, I started to get the tickets. And this is amazing. What I would do, I would start up in right field. There's 33 sections. And I'd walk all the way down, 30 rows of seats looking for tickets. Then go up to the other section. Keep going up and down, up and down, up and down, until I reached right field. That would take about 40 minutes. So I'd get about 25 tickets, and I'd keep them home. And what happened is by getting the sporting news, I read there was a newspaper. Here it is here called The Trade Speaks. Okay. This is from 1968. And they would say, I'll trade you a Red Sox program and a Red Sox ticket for any program and any ticket that you have. And I would swap one for one. And the ads in here would be like this. Here's an issue. Not one person mentioned tickets in this paper. But I'll give you an example of an ad to let you know how it was. For sale, 500 different baseball cards from a number of years and companies. They are average to excellent shape. $11 postpaid. In other words, you'd get 100 tickets before 1967 for 2 cents each. So the person who put this magazine out, he said in the introduction, I do it for love, no money. So I want you to understand, that's what the hobby was. No one was trying to make a penny. I was trying to get items I like. I like to read baseball books. Now I trade with other people. So one day I saw an ad in the Sports Trader. It said, for sale, ticket lot, $8, 1908, 1903, 1912, Boston Red Sox. And they didn't have pictures or anything. You know, like in here, there's a autograph for sale, $20, Smokey Joe Wood. I mean, what's his name? The guy that got banished from baseball.
Joe Jackson.
Joe Jackson, $20. All right. So anyway, I sent the guy the $8 for the tickets. He sent me back. I got opening day, the first game ever at Fenway Park, 1912.
Wow.
1903 World Series. I got like 20 tickets, like 1912, 1910. Like that. Matter of fact, one of them just was for sale in the auction the other night. A 1912 Red Sox ticket. It went for like $300 or $400. Those tickets are being resold and resold. Yeah. But anyway,
so Jim, you had a 1903 World Series ticket.
Yep. And it was sort of loose, so I separated it and I sold, I think, one half for $500. I got a lot for it. Maybe I sold it 30 years ago. And the other half I traded for a Christy Mathewson baseball card.
Mm-hmm.
But so you got to keep in mind, if I had a ticket and I want to research it, right? There was no internet. I had to go to the Boston Public Library, get a roll of microfilm, put it on, look for October 8th, see what happened that day.
Right.
And I did things like that, you know?
Yeah. Wow.
So what? So 1903. That was the first World Series, right?
Yeah.
So I guess basically, so you collected tickets, programs, passes, but just everything baseball under the sun. Is that right?
Everything, and it would be all cheap. I didn't spend money. I got, when the sets came out, I got the new packs, 5 cents a pack, and I put them in. I had all the years of baseball cards, all that vintage years. I had all the magazines, all the sporting news. I used to get the magazines. When they came out, they would be 75 cents. I would wait a month, and I'd go in the store. The guy would rip the cover off. I'd get them for a dime. So I had all the magazines. So I had programs, tickets, pennants, everything. I liked everything. Autographs.
So what, do you have some items with you right now that you could some of your favorite things?
This is something I had. Whoop, what happened? Did I get up? Oh yeah.
There you go.
This is weird. This is just to show you fans. We used to go to Fenway Park. We'd go, hey, go Red Sox. So we would they put popcorn in here. And this is something from that era, you know?
What
we were real fans. We kept score of everything that happened during the game. And then at the end of the game, everything was timed. About near the end of the game, I'd start looking for tickets. And then by the time I went through the whole stadium looking for every ticket on the ground, I'd get 25. I'd put them in my pocket. It was time for me to run out and get autographs. Then we'd get autographs. Everything, the whole day was full, just baseball. Then when I'd go to school, I'd show the kids what I got. And then, my friends would want to come to the game with me. And we did all stuff like that.
What do you have any tickets or passes handy that you'd
Yeah.
like to share?
Well, I'll show you. I'll start with the one that you got up there, which is an early one. That's the 1903.
Let me see. I think
see.
I can show it
Yeah,
on here.
1903. And the reason why I like that, that's the first year of baseball. The first World Series was 1933. That was the first year of the American and National League. So this pass was good for every game that first year, which, to me makes it very significant, because without that, there wouldn't have been baseball. And, I think it could be more significant than any ticket, because it's 1903, the first one, the first game, first season, the first World Series. So
Right.
I like that one.
So, something like this, how did you obtain, say, this pass?
Well, someone bought it in an auction like 10 years ago, and then I bought it off of him 2 years ago. He contacted me, and I bought it off of him.
Now, for passes, kind of talk about, basically how the passes worked back in the day, who received them, why certain people received them, was it for every game? Just kind of the whole.
Yeah, at the beginning, I think they just went to important people. Like the owner would have 100 friends. He would have like courtesy pass that went to 100 people. And like you see, this says 210, number 210. Number 210. I went through hundreds of passes, and most of them are under number 300. I don't think they issued that many. And the highest pass I have is like 2,500 issued. It was in 68. But they issued them first to their friends. They issued them to like priests, the clergy, military, youth, family, and the media. Now, in the media, if you figure it out, there weren't that many. There it is, 8 teams in that league. If the media had 5 media people in each city, that would be 40 people. So they only issued like 40 media passes. But as time went by, like in Boston, there were 50 media people just in the sports department, because the Boston papers you had 3 papers, the morning edition, the afternoon edition, the daily edition. You had 3 papers, so you had 50 sports writers. So they would issue 50 passes to sports writers in Boston, and then they would issue them to visiting teams. So that's why the low population passes, because if they issue one to every media person, it would be like between 300 and 100 media persons. And then the other ones would be, they would have passes to friends, like I said. And then they would have student passes, employee passes. If you needed a pass to get in, they would put employee. They would have a security pass. They would issue passes over time for the Not Whole Gang and the fan clubs. And then I think it was about 1919, they started issuing them to players. One owner, I forget who it was, figured as a bonus, he'll let the players get a pass. And then the other teams begin to copy them. So then you have player passes. And most of them players value them passes so much. Like I got Tony Congigliaro's pass. When he died, it was in his wallet. I got it off his family. They treasure them. Mm-hmm. And they don't come up for sale, and they're not around. They usually leave them with their family. Like if your loved father died or something, you might keep it. You might keep his driver's license or something. So
they still issue passes today to players. Do you know?
Well, they did. Yes.
Yeah, just recently.
Because I know, like 5 years ago in Boston, they had a whole list of all the different types of passes they had. like media passes, play issued to the player, and they would issue them. Like there's a lifetime pass, there's a season pass, there's a World Series pass, like 3 different types. If you were a student, you might just get it for every Saturday. It might be just good for Saturday games. It would say on the back, you promise not to hook school and get good grades and things like that.
Interesting.
The passes on, so this is Jim's eBay site. He's Boston Sports Collect-Jim. And you've probably had 20,000 plus sales on eBay, roughly?
Yeah.
Over
the 25 years.
I have some of your, basically pulled all your passes up and basically had them by price. Are any of these, you'd like to touch upon that kind of have a special place?
I love Babe Ruth, like this one, 1935. Versus the Phillies, okay? That's at the park. Now, for 1935, or any year, you would find like plenty of different passes. You would find an American League pass, a National League pass, and a pass for each team. This is a pass from Philadelphia, National League. That's where Babe Ruth played his last game. He just rounded out or something like that. And I think if it's a pass from a team, it's more, I don't want to use the word valuable, but more particular to the game. You could identify it to the game more. It's more likely. And I like that better than a National League or a Major League pass, a city pass from a team. So this is from the team. And you see only 87 passes. This is pass number 87. And, lots of times they're signed by the president. And a lot of people say, well, I don't like passes because it doesn't mean they went to the game. Okay, lots of times you can't prove they went to the game, but sometimes you can. I have one thing that made me like the passes is when I used to go to Fenway Park, I would go in, I would hand in a ticket, and I'd say, okay, I got into one game, and I would see another guy walk up with a season pass and show it, and I said, gee, I want one of them. He goes to every game. And then, like, when you get the Sporting News, it would have a picture of them interviewing Jim Lomberg. He just pitched a 2-hitter in the World Series, and it would be a sports writer interview him. And standing next to him, he would have the green tag hanging down, the big World Series tag, and it would say, good for games at Fenway Park, and the reporter's name. And so you could identify the pass with the game, with the reporter, through a photograph, the same way they identify a bat. If you get a photograph of a person being interviewed, but another way, I sold a 1927 Babe Ruth Yankees season ticket pass, and he wanted that for the 61 home run because he was saving the Ruth home runs. And PSA wouldn't authenticate it. They said, well, we can't say it's good because maybe no one went to the game. So he actually proved the name of the writer was on the pass. He went to the game, and the office, the newspaper office, was next door to Yankee Stadium, and he wrote an article in the paper. He took a picture, and it shows his photograph. So you could prove that pass went to the game. But even if you can't prove it, you could assume a lot of the photographer passes or writer passes went to the game because that was their job. They went to work. A complimentary pass or a student pass, maybe they didn't go, but I would say a good chance the writers went because they went every game. That was their job.
Yeah.
And it reminds me of a ticket in a way, like a full ticket. No one went to a game with a full ticket, but with a pass, it's like, I think I'll show you this. Like, I think they're really, I got you. Pretty passes, some of them could be more attractive than a ticket because it has a beautiful logo, the date, and the team name. This was signed by Al Kaline in 1974. Al Kaline got his 3,000 hit on September in Baltimore, but you can't prove anybody went there. Maybe this is by a writer, but I like it because it's from good to every game of that year. Now, a lot of people say, well, I would much rather have a ticket. Well, a ticket has the exact date, and I could see why they write, and I can't argue with that. An exact date is more pinpoint than a season pass, but it doesn't mean a season pass wasn't used. And go ahead.
So you're a huge Boston guy, and you have thousands of eBay listings. Do you have any items that basically you'll have forever that basically are in your PC, Boston related, non-Boston related?
I don't think so, because what happened is when I got leukemia recently and I'm cured, I realized the important thing in your life are your health and personal relationships. And I would get rid of everything, because I heard stories of people losing their collection through floods, robberies. One guy even opened up the closet door and a box hit him on the head and he started bleeding,
That's a sign to sell.
So I would sell everything. But some things I would want to, like I got some Congigliaro stuff I would like to give to a museum and have it on display so people could see it,
Well, I have this item of all your listings. This is your most expensive one.
Yeah, because what that it contains is 12 boxes stashed with autographs, hundreds of autographs, hundreds of tickets. This is a trophy I like because he got it from the American Veterans in East Boston, the Veterans Club. And that's where I was growing up during the Vietnam War and teenager. And they gave him this award for outstanding 1964 achievements. So I would like all this to someday be in a museum.
So all your items between passes, tickets, programs, what do you have the most passion for collecting?
Passion?
Between tickets, programs, autographs, passes.
What's your favorite?
It varies. I think I just like a good bargain, to tell you the truth. I don't want to pay. I don't want, like, I would like a Jackie Robinson ticket, but I wouldn't want to pay $150 or $250. I would get if I could get something for $10 and turn it into a $5,000. That gets me a little excited, even though I hate to say it, I'm not in it for the money. Sure. But it all sounds contradictory. But I don't know. I like to see little kids happy, to tell you the truth.
Well, it's on your eBay site, and you got a whole, and it's not just tickets and cards. Like I see some modern cards, like a Burrow, a Brady. I see some programs, some Bob Dylan.
Yeah, Bob Dylan. You can't get this stuff. So I have a passion for that, but I realize it's just something that I hate to put it this way. So I was talking to my sister about it today. She says, "That's crazy. That much money?" I says, "I know, but that's what it is, I don't know. I love all this stuff, but you can't afford to keep it,
Jim, do you just sell on eBay, or do you set up at shows?
Well, I ran shows for 15 years in Boston, and that's like over 150 shows I ran. Wow. And I set up in shows, but now that I'm older, I actually did a show, the last Dallas show. One of the dealers sold his whole collection, and then I took over. I bought his table for the rest of the show, and I did it for a day. And I think what we liked selling that day was the new stuff of things that we just got, pitchers that did good for the Rangers and the Dallas Cowboys, like the new teams. Like I was all excited because the Bruins were in the playoff, the Patriots are in the playoff, and I was so excited when the Brady won every year. But then when they lose, I like Curry. Everyone, when I see them really, having talent and doing something unbelievable, like Curry could shoot 100 times from the 3-point range and get them all in, in practice and in the game. I mean, I'm like, gee, I would love to have that ticket that they don't make anymore. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Right.
So it sort of changed because you can't get a lot of stuff now.
I think
Yes,
it's really interesting that you said you have been collecting tickets and various things since the 60s.
Yeah.
And we often, have this conversation about how long ticket collecting has been going, because a lot of people think it's a relatively new hobby, but it's not. It's been going on for decades, and I think you are living proof of that.
Yeah, so, and now people could do it. Anyone could do it because you go to the internet and you could look up the date. You could see who hit a home run that game and who pitched. And the beauty of it is you could, like with the passes, like with the ticket, like, let me see, I had a ticket here I liked just because. Oh, here it is. Well, I'll tell you about it. Doesn't matter. 1970 Major League Pass, season pass. During this thing, Mays and Aaron both hit 3,000 hits, and Ernie Banks got his 500th home run, and it's all on the label from PSA. So on a ticket, you could put what you want. You could, the player you like. I like Ken Griffey. He did this catch. You could put Randy Johnson did this. You could highlight whatever you want. So it's really a creative way, and you could find out new things and doing tickets. Like I found out Ted Williams holds the record. I think it's 87 games in a row on base.
Wow.
That's different than Joe DiMaggio's 57, but it seems like quite an achievement that I never knew about until I started saving tickets,
You have that ticket?
Yeah. Well, there's 87 of them.
Yeah, well, do you have game 87? Because that would be the...
No, I don't. But I have a few of them in between.
Yeah.
What is cool. Speaking of Ted Williams, I was looking at this item, which I've always really liked. What's the story behind, you getting this program? And
that's my favorite, one of my favorite items, because I'm a Ted Williams fan. I never saw him play, but he was God to my cousins. I got cousins that went to all the games. My brother went to his last game at Fenway Park, and it was a cold day. He went to Boston University. He was a college student. He skipped school to go to the game, and after the game, he got a pass. And it was just like, the passes, and it had a beautiful Red Sox logo, and it said the date, September 28th, and he got it signed by Ted Williams. And he had that pass for 40 years. Then he gave it to me. I sold it for $500. I gave him the money. And then I kept the program. This is the program signed by Ted Williams. And inside, if you open it, you would say the date, September, it says it somewhere up there. This is good for that series, September 28th. So I doubt there's another program signed by Ted Williams. And the thing I like about that is the Red Sox didn't win a World Series between 1918 and 2004. We had nothing to cheer about. Ted Williams, the last day of his career, he went up, he hit a home run into the wind. No one thought he could do it. He refused to tip his hat. He ran to the dugout, and a famous sports writer said, God does not answer fan mail. Ted Williams did not have to tip his hat. And Ted is gone, but here's something, if you like Ted, that's well worth the money because it's 101. I wouldn't want to sell that, but I would. You know what I'm saying? It's like your Jackie.
Yeah, of all the pieces I was going through on eBay, I was like, man, that's such a cool
Isn't
piece.
that amazing, though?
Yeah, with the auto and the spot and Ted Williams on the cover and being the last game, I was like, man, that's just a
that's
really,
what made me interested in passes. I saw my brother's pass. He actually got a student pass. He showed up 1 minute before the game, and he went there. He was a student. They gave him a student pass. He kept it for 50 years.
Wow. The game I would love to find a ticket to is the 1941 final game of the year when Ted Williams refused to sit out and protect his 400
Yeah.
batting average and ended up hitting 406. Have you
Yeah.
seen a ticket to that game at all?
Yeah. I bid on it, and then I think it went for 3,000. I bid 2,000.
Yeah. Yeah.
How long ago was that?
That was about 3 years ago. And I do have a pass I'll show you. I had the program of that game, and I sold it for 2,000, and someone rebought it, and they sold it for 10,000.
Yeah.
So I get mad because a lot of the stuff I buy, I think I got a high price on it, and then someone ends up selling it for 5 times the amount. But let me see. That's not it.
I'll say, how many items do you have sitting there?
Well, if you go in my store, you look up 1941 Philadelphia Athletics, you'll see the pass for that game. And in other words, I got the pass, I don't have the ticket.
Yeah.
So, I'm looking through this eBay store. Now, do you basically, you run this by yourself? How long you been doing eBay? Kind of how eBay you start? I mean, you have to have a wealth of knowledge
about. It's a family-run thing. We list everything, and it's very time-consuming. And I also have $9 items in there. I have items in there that I don't know why I have them, because it costs me. I make $3 on it, and I got to go to the post office and mail it.
Right.
I already listed.
I'm always kind of curious on eBay about how, what people do, how they list, things with the title or the comments, the pricing. Like, do you do high price best offers? Do you do auctions? What do you usually do?
Yeah, what I do is I price high, in my opinion, because I could always go down, but I can't go up. And then on all my items, I put a best offer link. That way, I'm open for suggestions. I won't be offended what someone offers me. It doesn't mean I'll take it. And the thing about it too, I put a value in the, like, go down a little. With that 1939 pass, I think it was, it's this one. Go up. Yeah, right up one more. Oh, right there, 1939 Ted Williams pass, first home run. Okay, so it's a beautiful pass, much prettier than a ticket. You could see it got the emblem, got Tom Yorkie, it got Ted Williams rookie year, and there's not many of them. That's 89. It says, who knows how many were made. And but the point is, I spent hundreds of hours researching it, looking for it. So when I put a price up, if I put up 14,000, I make up my own prices. I'm not going by what it's sold for. I'm going by what I think it's worth. I put in there the time involved that I spent looking for that, the time involved that I spent figuring out the title. There's many things that I buy that I think are good, and then it isn't for that. So it's worthless. I spent money on something worthless. So it's not an easy thing to get something like this. There's a lot goes into that. Do
you ever run just auctions? Just straight auctions?
No.
Okay. Good to know.
But I like go down like that Bobby Orr one I like, because you'll see it. It's one up or one below. Oh yeah, that one. It's signed by him, and it's beautiful because there's not like same thing as the Ted Williams. Only 219. That's past number 210. It got this rookie season, and it got the name of the newspaper, Montreal, and it's signed by Bobby Orr. Got a beautiful logo, the black and gold colors. It got to be one of the best items you could have for a Bruin collector. Besides his uniform, if you like uniforms and stuff like that. But it's just, outstanding.
Have you seen basically the collectible market and, passes particularly evolved over the years, and especially once COVID hit?
Well, everything's going to go up because COVID did everyone was stuck at home and they were bored. They were paying a lot of money for cards. All the cards went up. They got back in the hobby. They couldn't even go to the park. There's no tickets for them years. They had cardboard figures in the stands to make believe there were people. No tickets. So
I forgot about the cardboard.
That should make the vintage tickets more desirable. You could at least get a ticket from 1947, you know?
Right.
But you can't get one from the pandemic years. But it made people want to do it. A lot of people made money. Now, when I used to set up at shows, I told you I ran 110 shows. I'd get the same people coming to every show. A lot of them were old, lonely men. They had no money. They just came and looked and said, I have that at home in my closet. I sold that. And they would talk. They were lonely. They were broke. That was the people we get. But when I went to the show during the pandemic, the height of the pandemic, it was loaded with 14, 15-year-old kids walking around with $10,000. I sold a 15-year-old kid in 1 minute. He bought a 1918 Babe Ruth pass for $3,000. Boom! He pulled out the money like that. He was so happy he found it.
Wow.
So I feel this younger generation, they know more than we do, in a way, and because they know the cards, the population, the colors. The batting average goes up. Before, we didn't have price guides.
Yeah.
We never had price guides. Then we had price guides. And the price guides would be like Mickey Mantle, rookie, $100, okay? And it would stay that way for 4 years. Now, it changes minute to minute. So I think the younger generation, they could really make a lot of money in this hobby, and it's more money generated. Like I said, when I went to the games, Red Sox, no money. We went there. I wrote poems about the Red Sox. I knew everyone's uniform number. I watched them play Pepper. I watched them throw behind them back. I talked to people who played with Babe Ruth. I talked to all the players, and it was just baseball. Play baseball, watch baseball, learn baseball. Now it's different. It's money and make money.
Do you think that the popularity in programs and collecting passes has gone up a lot in recent years as well?
Not as much as it should be, but I think it will. It's programs are way behind. Like I said, I was amazed I sold the program for $2,000. That was probably the most anyone sold one.
Yeah.
Someone bought it and they turned around and sold it for 10.
Why do you think that is?
There's not many of them. It's the same with tickets. If you like Ken Griffey Jr., a Michael Jordan, a Kobe, a Ted Williams, and you want the ticket to that game after you want his rookie card, after you want everything. You want the ticket, you want the program. I'm the only one known with a Brady signed debut program, slabbed by Beckett. There's only one in existence. You probably never heard of a Brady debut program, and then signed. There's not another one.
Where is it?
Brady makes rules. He isn't signing things. He isn't signing tickets. He'll only sign them for that. In other words, I'm just saying, to answer your question, there's a market for it, but not so much.
Mm-hmm.
Now, if people here say I sold the Brady program for $150,000, boom, people are going to start. Just like when that Jackie Robinson ticket hit $250, people are like, I'm going into tickets. But before that, no. Yeah. I think you need a lot of big seals.
Yeah. It seems like one of the drawbacks too is that the grading of programs is a little more, it's not as common,
No,
and
no one grades a program.
yeah, because you want to be able to open it up. You want to
You
be
want
able
to
to
be able to open it up, yeah. And
interior.
programs are harder to authenticate too, because it's for a 3-game series, and if a team comes in 4 times a year, that means there's 12 different issues of the program. So you got to identify it by different ways, by looking at player transactions or advertisements, things like that. So it's harder than a ticket to authenticate.
To a
But
certain
you
date.
can do it. Yeah, you
But
can
yeah,
do it.
yeah.
That's what I mean. It takes time.
Right. Interesting.
So that debut program for Brady, you sold that?
No, I got it. It's not even listed. I just put it aside because I don't know. I got leukemia and everything. I just stopped doing things.
What?
But for example, 1947 Jackie Robinson first game program. If you find one, it's going to be falling apart, because during the war years and at that time, before that, say in the 30s and in the 20s, when they made programs, they used cotton in the paper and it preserved it better. But during the war, they took that out, and the paper material is very brittle. If you get a 1947 program, you open it and you look through it, it's liable to just pages to come loose, or to disintegrate.
Fall apart.
So it's hard to get a 47 Brooklyn program in good shape. But they're there.
So what other items you have handy?
Handy, okay. Well, this is the guy I like. Like you said, what do I get a passion for? I said nothing really, but I got to admit it. This one, it's up in the store. There's a picture of it. But that's the game that Brady was behind 28-3, came back winning, and it's signed by Tom. Signed by Tom. So
Nice.
There's not many tickets, and it's signed by Tom. So that's a new thing that I like. And, I put Brady up there with one of the greatest GOATs of all time. I wouldn't say he's better than the greatest GOAT, but I wouldn't say he's worse than the greatest GOAT,
Yeah, I think he's got that football GOAT status with all the Super Bowls, and then getting the one in Tampa kind of put him over the top. But yeah, I've noticed you got a lot of Brady, a lot of Boston, but you're living in Dallas. You don't have that Texas accent.
Now I got Dallas stuff too. I like I love Luca, I love Roger Staubach, and I love the hockey team and the women's Dallas basketball team, all of them. Dallas is a great sports town. They deserve some championships.
Our Kraken are playing Dallas.
Right, the Kraken versus Stars.
What?
The hockey.
Oh, the hockey. Yeah,
Kraken.
You're in it. They're still in it.
Yeah, we're starting a series versus you next tomorrow.
Yeah.
So
Dallas is a great sports town. And I went to a thing that recently, Von Miller Day. He really impressed me. He's a football player, and every year he holds a picnic in his neighborhood at his local high school. All the neighborhood shows up, all the people he grew up with, all the people who live in the houses he used to live in. He gives back to the community. He has food trucks. He loves everyone. He's hugging everyone, taking pictures with everyone. You could tell he's so happy. And that made me passionate. Like I mentioned, I like to see kids happy. There were families there with little kids 3 years old looking up to Von Miller. And I think with the world the way it is, you have the wars, you have the pandemics, you have violence. Sports is a good outlet for children. And I hope that they, keep playing and going to games and watching games. I wanted to play in the major leagues. I loved baseball, so I still do. A funny thing, we had a East Boston softball. We had we used to play a half ball. you get a rubber ball, you cut it in half, and you throw it sidearms. And they had a thing going on. All these guys, 60 and 70 years old, got together and play. And anyway, I watched it, and so I showed up, and I can't believe it. Like the first 3 games, I hit 3 home runs to win 3 games. I didn't swing a bat since Nixon was in office. And the point is, it's for the old and the young if you like baseball, you know. And my father, whenever he saw his brothers, he might not see them for 20 years. If he ran into one of his 11 brothers, he would say, "How'd the Red Sox do today?" You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So I think the passion comes with the families, really. And I get turned off sometimes at the way things go, even with the memorabilia and the sports. But I think it's people could learn history. They could learn, you know, arithmetic, reading, internet. You know, they can learn a lot of skills by, you know, selling, buying, dealing with people. I think it's a great hobby, really, even though, you know, you could criticize a lot of things about it.
Mm-hmm.
And before I forget, I want to say Steve Beckett's doing a great job with the tickets. He's doing what the collector wants. He'll put on the ticket what you want if that's what happened in the game, which is what I think they should do.
Right.
You know, if you want to put Whitey Ford won the game, put that in. But if you want to put Mickey Mantle strikeout, put that on the label because it's your ticket.
Have you sent orders in?
I sent it in. I didn't get it back yet, but I sent it in late because my illness. I had trouble getting things together.
Right.
But I see what other people sent in, and
do you remember how many you sent in? Like how many?
I sent in 20.
Oh, okay.
Not that many.
Well, that's not bad.
Yeah, it's not bad. It's a start.
Yeah. Good.
So Jim, where do you see the hobby going the next 1, 2, 5, 10 years from now?
Really, nobody knows. If I knew, I would go there. But I could tell you what I saw, what happened in the past. Things that weren't worth anything are worth 100,000 now.
So what's something that's not worth anything now?
If you can get anything free, get it. Hold on to it, and then when it's worth 100,000, take it out of your closet.
That's good advice.
I just think,
my father, okay, he had in a closet piled up baseball cards from the 20s, piled up till they hit my mother's clothes. That means 3 feet high. Then he threw them all out.
Yeah.
Imagine what that would have been worth.
Yeah. I know that's why it's all worth so much, because everybody threw them away. It's not much out there anymore. You know, kind of like with talking about with tickets and programs and passes. You know, people, they liked them and thought they were neat, but you know, a lot of times they just threw them away, and next thing you know, 20, 30 years later, they're desired and coveted.
Yeah, but it's amazing that things still come out of the closets here and there. You know,
definitely.
You know?
We're
a lot left in closets.
Yeah.
You know, over the years, where did you find a lot of your items that you purchased?
Well, you really couldn't find any. That's the funny thing about it. Nobody had anything. There was no internet, no eBay. There was this collector magazine, and I bought them. A lot of the stuff I got in the stores when they came out, the new sets, the new cards. And then doing shows. But even at the shows, you couldn't find things at the shows. Like, believe it or not, like a 1961 Carl Yastrzemski rookie card was never at the show because it would be gone in a minute. But now you could just go on eBay and see 200 of them and buy them. You know, it's a little easier. But, people really didn't have things. You couldn't really find that many collections and things like that because the people who had it wanted it, and the people didn't have it, you know, at that time it was considered being a sissy. Me and saving a baseball card, you were a sissy. Me and no men asked for an autograph back then. You were too embarrassed. That's why I stopped when I was 17. I felt ashamed. You know, I started again when I was you know, when my son got of age and I took him, but I felt too embarrassed to go.
Yeah. Yeah, nowadays you see guys rolling up with 20 rookie cards a deep trying to get players to autograph all 20 in one shot.
Yeah, good luck to them.
Yeah.
Well, Sean, did you have any other questions, or Jim, did you have any questions for us?
Jim, are you following the top 100 ticket countdown?
Yeah, I am. I'm enjoying it a lot.
Yeah. What do you have any feedback for us?
Well, I'm surprised that a lot of tickets in there. There were things that I wouldn't put in there, but people put them in there and they like them. You know, things that are related to movies and things like that. And even, you know, Olympic events and soccer events and college events.
Yeah.
And they're all good. And I love the description you do. You got the ticket, the picture, and you tell why it's important. You say how many are there. And now everyone's going to want those tickets on that list. They're going to have to pay to get them.
Well, the one that you brought up earlier, the last game of Ted Williams's career, that one was I think in the 90s somewhere, and there were some people who were absolutely, you know, beside themselves about it even being on the list. But
I can see why they would, because they're not Boston fans.
Yeah, but Boston fans, that's a legendary game.
Had that ranked. I had that ticket and I sold it, and I still kick myself for it.
Yeah, it's not around. I had 3 of them. Now you don't see it up for sale.
Right. Jim, did the whole debut ticket phenomenon take you by surprise?
Not really, because what it is people who were tired of collecting cards went into tickets. They realized, you know, they could get a card easy, go on eBay. But if you want a debut ticket of Ken Griffey, or you want a debut ticket of Tony Congigliaro, you might not find one.
Yeah.
And if it's signed, boy, you got something there.
Yeah.
So I think it should go up. And I think even if the player does nothing in the game, I think the collectors would want it. Like Al Kaline, his debut ticket, he went in as a defense replacement. He played center field. And then luckily in the 9th inning, he got up, he flied out, and that was it. Uneventful game. Yeah. But anybody a Detroit fan who loves Al Kaline, they should try to get that ticket.
Yeah.
So would you, if I gave you the option, would you rather have a Congigliari debut ticket or one where he got beaned?
Oh, the debut. I don't like that. Beaned is too sad a day.
Yeah. I mean, it's so historic, though.
Back the clock, but you can't.
Right.
Yeah.
But that is a hard ticket to get, too. And I do have it, but it's not a good memory. The good memory was 18-year-old kid right out of high school. He was out of high school. Youngest player to ever hit 100 home runs from my hometown, played Little League in my Little League field. He got up, the first pitch to him ever at Fenway Park. He hit it in the screen on opening day, and all that money went to the JFK library because JFK got assassinated the year before, and all that money went to the library. And in the stadium was Robert Kennedy, Ted Kennedy, and, you know, a couple of celebrities. They saw him hit it. He ran around the bases so happy and jumped into the dugout, and Kurt Gowdy was overflowing, saying, gee, look how that smile on that kid. So, you know, that's something you want to remember.
Yeah, I would say that's about 2 opposite ends of the spectrum. Him hitting opening day and then getting beaned, basically ending his career. Well, Jim, I appreciate it, man. You have some great knowledge. You're obviously you know, a Boston diehard sports fan collector. You got a wealth of knowledge on eBay. It's kind of like you're maybe the most well-rounded collecting guest I think we've had on here. Well,
thank you. I would just say to you, I hope you guys could make some money out of this. You put a lot into it.
Show?
Yeah, because, you know, it's a labor of love, But you know, you're giving up your supper, you're giving up your family, you know, and you're helping the hobby a lot.
We're hanging out with cool people like you, so we're making
like,
new friends
for free.
I mean, the funny thing is, no good thing goes unpunished. What's that say? No good.
No, but one of my wife's favorite things: no good deed goes unpunished.
No good deed goes unpunished. So every time we're helping people to realize passes are good, tickets are good, that means we can't buy one. You know.
Yeah, that's true. That's definitely true.
You know, but
or the prices go up.
Yeah, you guys are sharing the love, and I just hope you could keep collecting. It's almost getting too expensive to collect.
Yeah, you know, things go up, they go down. It's just, I guess that's the way it is. Do you have any like white whale items that you've been looking for that you've never found, or something that you've just been dying to buy?
I'm sure there are, but plenty of them. Like I got a ticket stub. Maybe Babe Ruth's first game. Babe Ruth's first game. First at bat.
I think that's one that a lot of people would love to find.
Yeah, I like Ohtani.
Yeah,
a lot.
Yeah, he seems to be definitely popular with the ticket collecting community for sure.
But I'll say something too. I think I did start getting tickets popular because I was the first one. Like before, it would just say World Series ticket 1960. You know, then I put some more words in there, like search words. I would put Game 7 home run. You know, Mickey Mantle home run. Then that ticket was known as Mantle's home run. Mickey Mantle's last game. That ticket was known as Mickey Mantle's last game. Before, no one used the word last.
Right.
You know, and I think I did that with even some of the political stubs. Like I was the first one, I think, to do it with JFK Stubbs getting sworn in as president, and you know, I just came up with different titles in the ticket. You know, like getting all the records and matching the record with the ticket.
Right.
And that made them popular because before no one knew.
When was this? How long ago was that when you started doing that?
I think that was going back 10 years ago because I used to get Willie Mays 1954 Game 1 World Series catch used to just be World Series. I put World Series Mays catch. So that ticket went from $50 to $150. I used to buy it for $150 and sell it for $300. Now I just heard one went for $15,000.
Yeah.
So, you know, I mean, I had something to do with the price going up, which I didn't want to do. Now I can't afford one. I don't have one. You know? But anyway, that's the funny story.
Yeah, you see that with tickets, you know, once people like, oh, this is the game that where Ferris Bueller, you know, was televised, or, you know, like Sean showed the Ken Griffey Jr. Upper Deck picture ticket. Well, now that, you know, the word is out, well, if that ticket pops up for 99 cents, it's going to get
everyone copies. That's why it's hard to get the next new thing. Like there's a Bird rookie card. It got Magic, in Dr. J and Bird. Someone, my friend, had the idea of getting it signed by the three of them. He was the first one to do it, and he sold it for like $500. Now it's going for like $35,000 because everyone copied them, you know.
Yeah.
But good ideas are good to steal.
True.
Well, I think that's a good line to end on, Jim.
All right.
I appreciate you coming on, the wealth of knowledge. It was very entertaining to hear, you know, about the history of your collection and, you know, just the stories and how you obtained a lot of things. And just going through your eBay collection was really, really neat. But it's much appreciated.
All right. Could you imagine walking up every seat at Fenway Park, looking at every seat?
That's some exercise.
It's a good exercise.
You got your 10,000 steps in on those days.
I enjoyed every step.
Yeah.
All right, guys.
All right,
Thanks,
Jim,
Jim.
appreciate it.